Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Pankaj Prabhu. So we welcome you all for today's discussion. So if you see what we discussed last week, what was the topic for last week? Okay, what we discussed last week, we discussed how when Pandavas left, what happened after that? What happened to Dharma? So after Pandavas left, who took the Dharma ahead? Yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj, we saw how Parikshit Maharaj took the whole thing ahead, how he penalized Kali. What is Kali? 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And then how Kali came in and he cursed Parikshit Maharaj, how Parikshit Maharaj was destined to die in 7 days, 7 nights, and that is when Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. And what is dharma? Savai pumsho paro dharmo yator bhaktir adhokshaje, that is Krishna. And then we saw how Kali Yuga influenced, how the Brahmanas got degraded, and they used the scriptures for killing. And then Buddha came and he said no scriptures, he threw away scriptures, he said everything is shunya, zero. And from there Shankaracharya came, he got back the scriptures, he said everything is one, God is one, you can be one with God. And then from that point onwards we had the 4 sampradayas who came and re-established the bhakti process, that is Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya and Kumar Sampradaya. And then we saw teachings of each of the 2 sampradayas, the top 2 teachings of all the 4 sampradayas we saw. And then we saw how ISKCON comes in which sampradaya? Brahma Sampradaya. So it comes in Brahma Sampradaya, and Madhvacharya also comes in the same Sampradaya. So ISKCON's actual name is Gaudiya Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. And then we saw that after Madhvacharya, the next who came was later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. And there are a lot of references in Srimad Bhagavatam and other places that in Kali Yuga, Krishna will come in hidden incarnation. It will be not known for many, very few people will know it. And he comes in the form of his own devotee, so that he teaches us how to do devotion and how to practice Bhagavad Gita. Then later we saw how he introduced the chanting of Hare Krishna. And in the same lineage, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we had the Shad Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis who later went to Vrindavan and established the major temples over there. In the same lineage, we saw how ISKCON is very strongly connected to this Guru Shishya Parampara, which is over here. It's also there on Bhagavad Gita, so which shows how ISKCON is not just some organization which is made by someone, but it's a very authorized organization connected to a very, very strong sampradaya which is coming from Krishna himself right from the Vedic times. Then now, if you see the entire sampradaya later, after Shad Goswamis, lot of other acharyas came, and in their lineage we had Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then we had Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Prabhupada. So this is how the entire lineage, and after Prabhupada, all of us sitting over here and getting the knowledge from Srila Prabhupada. So we all also are connected to this great sampradaya. So now, today what we are going to discuss is about Srila Prabhupada, how we started ISKCON. So here if you see, over here, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he actually revived Krishna consciousness which was dormant. Because, as I said, over a period of time, all the dharmic procedures goes down. So you require someone to revive it back. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur revived it. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, over here, you can see that, was his son. Over here, Acharya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Bengal, he took Krishna consciousness everywhere. And now what we are going to discuss today is how ISKCON was made. So now going back over here, so if you see ISKCON now, it's a very, very big organization. This is again an old slide, 50 years of ISKCON. We have around 600 and I'll make it a little big. It's visible. Yeah. We have more than 650 preaching centers, around 95,000 sannyasis and not sannyasis, devotees and brahmacharis across, 560 million Bhagavad Gita and other literatures distributed, millions of people connected, so many things happening around. If you see now ISKCON, it's very big, it's huge, it's a world phenomena, it's known everywhere. But how this whole thing started, right? That is what we are going to discuss today. So now before we go over there, yeah. Yeah, this is a temple in Mayapur with the world's biggest temple which is coming up. Maybe after Vrindavan Yatra, we can go for Mayapur Yatra next year. Okay, so now before we go to starting making of ISKCON, we go back to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is one of our acharyas who comes in the lineage. So he was there around 1800. Okay, so 200 years back. So he made a prophecy that time that soon, now see his prophecy. These are his words as it is. Okay, if you see down, soon he was a high court judge, district magistrate and a high court judge later. Very, very respectable person. Britishers respected him so much that they put an entire railway track which was starting from his house and going to his office so that he saves his time. That railway track, even recently it was there, just 2-3 years back they removed it. So he made this statement in 1800 because he had just revived Krishna consciousness, because that time sadhus were seen as someone who is just making a living, running from the world, making a living just for namesake, looting people. So sadhus were seen like that. So he revived the entire Krishna consciousness. He wrote a lot of books and he got the teachings of Krishna out. And that time he made this prophecy, soon there will be a time when chanting of Krishna's name will be heard in England, France, Russia, Germany and America. Because that time no one knew. Even now so many people outside India don't know who is Krishna. And we are saying Krishna is the supreme God, he is the creator of everywhere. Then someone will ask, sorry, people in France, people in Russia, they don't know Krishna. So how Krishna can be the creator of everyone? Right? So we'll discuss that. So now this is the prophecy he made in 1800. And what happened during this time is in 1896, there was a child who was born whose name was Abhay Charan. Okay, and who later became Srila Prabhupada. Now we will discuss about Srila Prabhupada who started ISKCON. Now this happened in 1896 in Calcutta. So when Abhay Charan was born, he was born in Calcutta. His parents' name were his name was Abhay Charan, and when he was born, the astrologer made a prediction that this child, when he reaches the age of 70, he will cross the oceans and become a great exponent of religion and open 108 temples. Because that time it was considered to be very inauspicious to cross oceans. If you cross the ocean, it was said, oh, you're outcast, you're gone now, we cannot take you back. So that's why it was something very different. This boy will go beyond 7 oceans and open 108 temples. So that was Abhay Charan Day. Okay, Prabhupada, when he was born. So we will briefly discuss about his childhood and then come to how ISKCON was formed. So right from his childhood, his parents gave him a very, very Krishna conscious environment. His father's name was Gaur Mohan Dev. If you have Krishna book, how many of you all have this book called Krishna? It's a very famous book of ISKCON. You should have that. It is all the pastimes of Krishna you will find in that book, written by Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, in the very start, he dedicates that book to his father. He says, this is dedicated to my father, Gaur Mohan Dev, because he laid the foundation of my Krishna consciousness. So his father was a merchant. He had a cloth shop. So Prabhupada used to say that father used to go to work very early to open his shop. So Prabhupada used to say, when I was a small child, I used to get up hearing the bell of my father doing puja. And I used to sleep hearing the bell. And he used to come late also, 10 o'clock used to come. And I used to sleep, and my father used to still perform puja, of course, after coming from his cloth shop. So Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, gives lot of respect and regards to his father for laying the foundation of his Krishna consciousness. One point of time, they took Abhay Charan, little Abhay Charan, that time he was 5-6 years old, to Jagannath Rath Yatra. And Abhay said, I also want a Rath of my own. So his father made a Rath, small cart, wooden cart, and Prabhupada, small Abhay, 7 or 5 years old, he used to have Rath Yatra celebration in his locality. Call all the boys and all children used to do Rath Yatra. So right from start, he was very, very Krishna conscious, and his parents played a very, very important role. He grows up later and he goes to college. He goes to Scottish Church College in Calcutta, and he completes his graduation. Over a period of time, and then that time he also gets connected to Gandhian movement. He starts associating very close with Gandhiji. Later he gets married and opens up a chemical factory. Now everything is okay, things are going on. He is a leader of his own community. He is having his own family. He has a chemical factory and running a business. Now what happens is, now if you see, this is the parampara, and here we have Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur's son was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So in 1922, so Prabhupada is around 25 years old. What happens is, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur happened to come to Calcutta. Otherwise he used to stay in Mayapur. He comes in Calcutta, and he is having a discourse in someone's house. Srila Abhay Charan was very, very respectable figure among his friends. So हमारा भी ऐसा कोई रहता है ना, someone who is very respectable. If he says something, buy this product, everyone will believe, oh, this product is right, we should buy because so and so person also buys this product. So Abhay was considered to be a very leader type personality among his friends. So one of his friends said, Abhay, there is one sadhu who is come. I want you to come to meet this sadhu. Abhay says, I have seen enough sadhus here. Right from my childhood, my father used to call so many sadhus at home, and most of the time these sadhus used to smoke BDs and all those things, and I don't believe in all of them. I'm good in my business, I'm good in my Gandhian movement. Tuja, you go. His friend Narendra, he said, no, you just come. You don't say anything, you just see this sadhu once, and if you say he's good, then we also will be able to go to him more often. Abhay says, okay, fine, you just want me to come, I will come only once to meet him. So Abhay and his friend Narendra and some of his other friends go to meet this sadhu, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So when he goes over there, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sitting on top of a terrace in someone's house. That place is still there, and he was just giving his discourse. So Prabhupada, Abhay Charan that time, he was no more Prabhupada that time. So Abhay Charan comes inside, and since it was a culture, they just puts a dandavat. Even before Abhay Charan gets up, this is the first time, they never met before. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says this line. He says, so this sadhu, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says, you are a nice young man and looks like that you know English. Therefore, you should preach the mission of Lord specifically to English-speaking countries of the Western world. Now, Prabhupada is just come for the first time, reluctantly. He don't want to come to sadhus. I have seen enough sadhus. He's just put dandavat and he's just getting up. Even before the dandavat, he is getting up from the dandavat. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says this. He says, you look to be an educated man. Because Prabhupada, you were able to make out, educated man. Why don't you preach this message of God to the Western people, to the English-speaking people? And when this happened, 1922, India was not independent by then. We still have 25 more years. Why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that? Because even in 1922, India had so much influence about London. All the wealthy people send their children to London to become barrister. And when they come from there studying barrister, whatever, they also get their culture and they forget this culture. So that's why even the first leader who had of this country, he also was like that only. That's why we became like that, right? So I don't want to name him. So the influence of Britishers was so much that time that our people were not following our philosophy. Dharma was, we are saying sometimes now, oh, Dharma has become so less. Even in 1922 it was like that. So right when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because they are visionaries, they are acharyas, he saw Abhay Charan, he said, why don't you go and preach? Okay. Now later, of course, Abhay Charan spoke a lot of things. He said, now we cannot do it. First we have to get independence, then we can do that. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, independence can wait, but Krishna consciousness cannot wait. It is an emergency. Today we are under Britishers, tomorrow we will be under someone else. So this king will keep changing. Now also they say we are free, but king keeps changing, right? We don't know which king is going to come and sit, right? Today there were election in one city and the king changed, right? The kings, we don't know. Britishers were ruling us, someone else will come and rule. He'll be Indian only, but he'll rule by the way he wants us to do things, right? So of course, we should be independent, but the point what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was making was Krishna consciousness. It's an emergency. We have to give Krishna consciousness because people are dying without Krishna, right? So he said that they had a lot of discussion and Prabhupada was very, very good in discussion. Abhay Charan, very good in discussion. So he had a lot of discussion and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave all the answers. And then they were coming back. They put Dandavat, they were coming back. Narendra, his friend, he asked Abhay, so Abhay, what do you think about this sadhu? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, because he got him right to evaluate the sadhu. Abhay says, this process of Krishna consciousness is in a very right man's hand. Whatever it is. I am not totally convinced by what he told me, but I am convinced that he is a very right man and this process is in a right man's hand. Later, over a period of time, I'll go fast forward, because we have to complete in 1 hour. Abhay Charan, whatever first instance he had meeting with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had later some more discussions and more meetings, and he was to always think about him. I met this great saintly man and he had a deep impact, but still he was connected to the Gandhian movement and all those things were happening. He kept on increasing his association, discussions, he started hearing him more, started reading his literature, and over a period of time, in 1933, so he met him in 1933, after almost 11 years, he took initiation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and officially he became disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he was connected to the Sampradaya, and he got the name. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave Abhay Charan Japa beads and his sacred Brahmanical thread, making him the disciple, and his name was Abhay Charana Ravindra. So first his name was Abhay, and now he got initiated, because once you get initiated, Guru accepts you, your name also changes, because everything gets changed. So he gets the name Abhay Charana Ravindra. Now Abhay Charana Ravindra had his pharma factory. His pharmacy factory's name was Prayagraj Pharmacy, and children were growing up, life was going on. Whenever he used to get time, he used to go and meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Not much, whatever time permits, he used to go. So he gave him one more instruction. What was the first instruction Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him? Preach this to the Western world. Udhar jaake preach karo. Preach to the Western world. Gopal, baat karo. Just tell him, see what it is. Here in Allahabad, now this is again in Prayag. Okay, Allahabad jaake aaye sab log? Mentally to jana chahiye, okay, Kumbh ke liye. So in Kumbh Mela, he gave him the second instruction. The second instruction he gave was, if you get some money, print books. This is the second instruction Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave Abhay Charana Ravindra. If you ever get some money, print books. Because the knowledge what we are giving, it will remain only if it is put in books, right? So things were going on, life was going on. Later, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this world, and now Abhay Charan had also his own business growing up. He started a magazine called Back to Godhead, which is still there. 1953, even before starting ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada started an organization called League of Devotees. A small organization just like this used to call people and discuss Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Even before starting, this is started in Jhansi, okay, in 1953. It went on for some months, and then the mayor, I think so, mayor or someone, some official, his wife wanted this building to have her kitty parties. So then Prabhupada had to leave this place because it was a government place somehow he had got. And then that K.M. Munshi, his name was K.M. Munshi, this thing was dissolved. Okay, so he tried. 1953. I'm going fast forward, lot of things I have not put. 1959, Srila Prabhupada accepts sannyas. Okay, 1959 he renounces everything. He had sons. He places his sons as the owner of the factory. He takes care of everything. He puts the family in very nice situation, and he takes sannyas because this is a time he felt that life is going very fast. My time is also going very fast. I am becoming old. I am yet to execute the instruction of my spiritual master. Every time he used to remember the instructions of his spiritual master. What are the two instructions spiritual master gave him? Preach in English language. If you get money, print books. Every time Prabhupada was brilliant man. If you hear Prabhupada's lecture, I keep sending some shots. Whenever he speaks, he was brilliant. He was intelligent. He was a Calcutta boy. No one can cheat him. So he did his business perfectly, everything. And he placed his family nicely, and he took sannyas. Here in 1959, he got the name Srila Prabhupada or Abhay Charana Ravindra. And then he went to stay in Vrindavan. So from Calcutta, he went to Vrindavan. He took sannyas. And even today, the place where he stayed, those rooms are still there. He went and stayed in a temple called Radha Damodar Temple. Right? Recently, someone had shared the video of all the major temples of Vrindavan. Vrindavan has how many temples? 5,000. We discussed last time, right? Out of 5,000 temples, there are 7 prime temples. And Radha Damodar temple is one of those prime temples. And all these 7 prime temples are founded by Shad Goswamis. The 6 Goswamis, what you see over here, they are founded by them. So that's why I'm saying this is like, it's very, very confidential things. Even I came to ISKCON, I didn't know. I knew Vrindavan is very, very important, but I didn't know that major temples of Vrindavan were found by Shad Goswamis. And they were connected to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are direct disciples. Because very few people know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They say, oh, this is one more god manufactured. There are so many, it's a supermarket. India is a supermarket of so many gods. Everyone is a Bhagwan. It's very, you don't know now, kisko kya bolna. We respect everyone, sabko dandavat karke chala jane ka. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not like that. It is there in the Shastras and everywhere it is revealed. So, coming back, so he takes his residence in Vrindavan. And from this temple in Radha Damodar, his rooms in Radha Damodar temple, he writes books. So till this time, he had completed writing the translation of Bhagavad Gita. He had finished writing Bhagavad Gita. And one canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 18 volumes, so one canto of Srimad Bhagavatam he had finished. And he used to write lot of books. He was alone. And how was Vrindavan? Even now it is so difficult. And that time in 1950s and 60s, it was so difficult to stay in Vrindavan. Still he used to stay there. He used to print books. And he was sannyasi. Sannyasis means no money. They used to do some madhukari. Someone used to give money. That was the money they had. So he used to print books. He used to write books. Printed himself. Go on the streets, sell those books. So he used to go to Delhi. From Vrindavan to Delhi, 2-3 hours by train. He used to go to Delhi. Go to that bookshop person, print the books, go to the market and sell those books on the streets of Delhi. Sometimes this person used to ask him, Swamiji, you had some breakfast, you have come? So no, I didn't have breakfast. You save money to print books. Paise nahi tha na, books kaise print honge? So this man used to give him breakfast. Sometimes he used to not take a tanga also. Keep walking, go to the guy, get it printed, go on the road and sell the books. That is how everything started. Sometimes he used to faint. I will share you one movie. There's a big movie on Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes he used to faint. Delhi, how hot it is. It's not like the India hot, Goa hot. Goa hot manje 35, 36 is. Delhi it goes 40 also, 40, 45 it goes. And that heat is very intense. You cannot be on the road. Sometimes he used to faint and fall down. By when? By selling books. Sannyasi on the street. We India, we don't value sannyasis. For us, sannyasi, everyone is the same only. So he used to go and sell books, fall. Someone used to lift him, put him in a hospital. Then he used to get up from hospital, again go and sell books. That is how he started. Why? Why he used to sell books? Because his spiritual master had told him, if you ever get some money, print books. It is all about sampradaya. Actually, today I was supposed to take a class on Guru. Who is a Guru, and should we have a Guru? How to identify a Guru, and what should be disciples' characteristics. But since today is Ekadashi, I thought it will be nice to discuss on such a great personality, Srila Prabhupada. Because whatever you do on Ekadashi, it gets multiplied 1,000 times. So that's why I just kept that topic next week, and today I took this topic. Right? So he had instruction from his spiritual master, and he said, no, my spiritual master had given me only 2 instructions, I have to follow it. That's my life and soul. So when we make the instruction of Guru as our life and soul, Guru takes responsibility of everything. We cannot go to the spiritual world on our own. We all want to go to Vaikuntha, right? कहाँ है वैकुंठ? महाकुंभ में जाने के लिए इतना आधे लोग तो गए ही नहीं, अभी तो फ्री ट्रेन दे रहे, राइट? वैकुंठ जाना इतना ईजी नहीं है. Unless we don't take a guru and we are sincere towards the guru, we cannot go to Vaikuntha, right? And we become sincere to guru when we follow the instruction of guru. That is what Srila Prabhupada teaches us. He did whatever required from his side. There was time when he used to write books and he used to go to this chai shop. That time chai was very common. Now what is very common? I don't know. Abhi chai to chala gaya. Some pizza and something from Western world is very common. That time chai was just introduced to Indians, and Indians were very excited about chai. Chai bole to status symbol ho gaya tha tabhi. So everywhere people drinking chai, and then he used to go and in the shops and try to sell these books. So people used to say, no, I don't have time to read your books. So then he used to come and write an article, no time syndrome. तो ऐसा नहीं कि हमारे पास अभी टाइम नहीं है. In 1960s also people didn't have time. In 2050 also people will have no time. This thing will always remain, right? So no one was acknowledging what he was doing, but still he was going and selling books, falling down, no money to eat, no money to print. That bookseller asked him once, Swamiji, why you are doing this? You go in Vrindavan, stay over there. Why you are doing? No, my Guru Maharaj had told. Later this printer told, when ISKCON became very big, his interview is also there, right? Everything is documented. So then he was trying, he said, my Guru, one more thing happened. Till this time, Srila Prabhupada was writing small magazines. Magazines are something, which we just read and throw. One person told him, why you are writing magazines? People will just take these magazines and throw. Why don't you print books? So that time he realized that my Guru is talking through this person. Chai pi raha tha wo aadmi. But he felt, no, my Guru is talking through him. My Guru is telling me, write books and print books. Of course, he had written books that time, print books. So then he went to print books. And that is where Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and all those things started printing. That time this Cold War was also going on, right? Sputnik kya tha? रशियन स्पेसशिप था वो, जो फर्स्ट टाइम स्पेस में गया था. रशिया वाज द फर्स्ट वन टू गो टू स्पेस. तभी रशिया और यूएस का कोल्ड वॉर चल रहा था. whoever goes to moon win. And who went to moon? Yeah, sure, moon. They went to moon. I don't know. Okay, so then they showed they went to moon. And this was very common. So Prabhupada wrote this book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. That book is still there. You can take it over there behind and read. And he was telling, you cannot just go to some other graha by making one metal thing. This, if you see recently some video had come that so many millions and millions of galaxies are there. We are just one of those so many galaxies. And we are just struggling so hard to reach moon. What's about those things which are so many billion light years away from us? We are talking about Vaikuntha, right? We don't even see Vaikuntha by going in the spaceship. We can't see it. So Prabhupada wrote this book. If you want to go to other planet, you follow the Shastras. If you follow Shastra, when you leave this body, you will go to other planet. Right? So what Prabhupada was doing was, he was connecting what is happening around him to Shastra. So Desha Kala Patra. He was connecting it based on time, place and circumstances. That is how he wrote his books. We should, if you have habit of reading, you should read Srila Prabhupada's small books. Bhagavad Gita to padhiye hi, small books which are there behind. These small books are conversations between him and others. And these small books give so much of information, so much of clarity about what is to be followed. Very nice books. Okay. And then sitting in this small temple, when we go to Vrindavan, this place is still there. Still you can sit over there. There's a window over there. You can see at the corner. From that window, he was able to see the Samadhi of Jiva Goswami. Still there. Right? Sometimes we go there, we sit and chant. Small rooms. It will start from this wall and end over here. That's it. If you do like this, you will touch the two walls. Itne chote room mein wo rehte the. Right? It is even there today. And he used to remember the order of his spiritual master. Print books to ho gaya. Second kya tha? Preach in. अभी किसको प्रीच करेंगे? ये तो सब हमारे टाई बूट पहन के इंग्लिश बन गए इंडियंस, और वो सुनते नहीं है. No one was taking dharma over here. And then he realized Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was right when he told me in 1922, preach to the English speaking people. यहाँ पे नहीं होने वाला है कुछ. These guys are not going to follow. He started writing Srimad Bhagavatam. I will skip this part. Struggles to preach and in Vrindavan and Delhi. So he was going everywhere, struggling, always thinking about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what should I do, how I'll do it, I'm a beggar over here, कुछ है ही नहीं मेरे पास, सब कुछ तो मैं दे के आ गया. So then in this various trips to Delhi, he met one guy called Mr. Agarwal. He was a businessman. And in Mathura he met, and this Agarwal, he said that Prabhupada said that I want to go to America. That time, to go to America, you required two things. One is ticket and visa. And visa, of course, abhi visa chahiye, but visa you will get only if you have a recommendation letter from someone staying in America. Otherwise, they will not take you. They used to not take. So, recommendation letter was very difficult. Who will recommend him to come to Vrindavan, America? He was not famous, no one knew him. So, this man, Mr. Agarwal, he said, I have my son, Gopal Agarwal, in America. He was a mechanical engineer, married to Sally, one lady in America, got a green card and staying over there. I have a son over there. If you want, I will give you recommendation letter from him. Prabhupada immediately said, give me recommendation letter. So he gave recommendation letter. Gopal Agarwal also sent. Gopal Agarwal thought my father is sent so many recommendation letter. अभी तक कोई आया ही नहीं. ये भी थोड़ी आने वाला. मैं भेज देता हूँ. He'll be happy. भेज दिया. So now he got recommendation letter. Now second thing is required is ticket. अमेरिका इनके पास खाने के लिए पैसे नहीं है. ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए अमेरिका जाएंगे. कैसे जाएंगे? अभी अमेरिका का टिकट कुछ 50,000 है, वो अप एंड डाउन 1 लाख हो जाता है. तभी तो इट विल बी सो मच बिकॉज दिस गाय Prabhupada didn't even have money. So what he does, he's a very intelligent person. He goes to Mumbai, and there was one shipping company called Scindia Shipping Company, and there was a lady called Srimati Morarji who was the head of this company. He goes to this lady, goes with the books, whatever that time he had printed. He said, this is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, some canto of Bhagavatam he had written, not all 12 cantos. He said, I want to take this to America and I want to preach this Bhagavad Gita to Americans. She started laughing. She said, Swamiji, and that's this time Prabhupada was 69 years old. How much? 69, yaad rakhna. He was 69, just about to be 70. She said, Swamiji, you are going to die. It is so cold in America, right? You are gone to, how many of you all have gone to Europe or America? यूरोप तो गए ना कभी, तो इट इज़ वेरी कोल्ड ओवर देयर एंड दैट कोल्ड इज़ डिफरेंट ओनली, हमारी तरह नहीं. इफ़ यू गो देयर नाक जम जाता है थोड़े टाइम में, अगर कुछ नहीं डाला, यू वेयर एवरीथिंग बट नोज इज ओपन, इट बिकम फ्रोजन, इट्स वेरी कोल्ड. दूर दूर तक कोई आदमी ही नहीं दिखता है. खाना तो एकदम ऐसा रहता है कि हम सोचते हैं इंडिया कभी आएंगे वापस, राइट? दैट इज अमेरिका और एनी यूरोपियन कंट्री. सो शी सेड यू गो टू अमेरिका यू विल डाई स्वामीजी, इट इज सो कोल्ड ओवर देयर. एंड शी वॉज टेलिंग विद गुड इंटेंट. She was considering, he is like my father, how can I allow him to go and die over there? He's getting so emotional. I want to go there. I want to go. She said, no, I'm not giving. He went to her office so many times. Nothing. She said, no, I'm not going to give. Later, she was interviewed. That interview is still there, where she actually says that I never gave him ticket. So then once Prabhupada goes and sits on the steps of her office, 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 to 5 he's sitting there. Evening when she was going back to her home from office, she says, Swamiji, what are you doing over here? She said, no, I was waiting for you. Your people didn't allow me because every time I come, you send me away back. So your people said, again, you're going to disturb madam. You better sit over here. She said, no, you should have told me. She felt very bad. She was a very good lady. She said, very bad. A sannyasi, I made him sit here. She said, come. Because Srila Prabhupada was so much determined to go to West, she said, okay. But I am telling you, it's not going to be easy. Prabhupada said, okay, I'll see that. Finally, she agrees to give him a ticket. And then he gets a ticket. And this ticket, he doesn't get in a passenger ship. He gets in a cargo ship. कार्गो शिप देखा है ना आपने? कार्गो शिप में जगह ही नहीं रहता है, वो कैबिन भी एकदम ऐसा रहता है. ओल्ड पीपल, इफ यू रिमेंबर व्हेन मांडवी ब्रिज वाज ब्रोकन, यू रिमेंबर मांडवी ब्रिज वाज ब्रोकन, वी आर गोइंग फ्रॉम दिस साइड टू दैट साइड. समटाइम फेरी बोट यूज्ड टू कम, समटाइम वन सम अदर थिंग ओनली यूज्ड टू कम. वी यूज्ड टू गेट इनसाइड थ्रू विंडो. याद है आपको? आई डोंट नो इफ यू नो, आई वाज स्मॉल बट आई रिमेंबर. इट वाज एंड ते असे हालचाली अशी थी, म्हणजे यू पुट योर लेग, यू समटाइम विल गो डाउन ओनली. दैट टाइम सेफ्टी कोई नहीं देखता था. अभी तो पीपल आओ बच्चे बोलेंगे आई विल नॉट गो इनसाइड. दैट हम लोग तो जाते थे, राइट? सो कार्गो शिप वे लाइक दैट. इट इज टू टॉस अप एंड डाउन लाइक दिस. वो एकदम ऐसा ये नहीं होता था उसको. सो ही गॉट द टिकट. सो नाउ ही गॉट टिकट एंड ही हैज recommendation. Now Srila Prabhupada is all set to go. How many years old he is? 70 years old. 69, 70 years old. Before he goes to America, he goes to Mayapur. He goes to Calcutta again, and he goes to the temple. And he goes to the tomb of Lord Chaitanya's birthplace. He goes and he prays over there that I am going to go to America to fulfill the dreams of my spiritual master. Please pray for me. He writes this in his diary. He is saying, I am not going to America. He is saying, Srimad Bhagavatam is going to America and I am accompanying them. That was Srila Prabhupada. And this he wrote in his diary. And this is an old man. No one knows him. Only his family knows him. That to family, previous time they used to go to Kashi, Vrindavan. They used to never come back. गया हो, वापस नहीं आते थे. कुछ नहीं पता था. So he wrote in his diary, not even knowing that people will read his diary. Later when ISKCON became very big, his diary was found and all those things came out. He said, I am not going to America. Srimad Bhagavatam is going to America. I am just accompanying them. That is his humility. Very simple. Jalduta, this ship, the same ship, photograph it is. He goes in this ship. Okay. At that time when he boards in Calcutta, he was 70 years old. It's a cargo ship. And that time was during Janmashtami. So his Janmashtami happened on the ship. He was not in Vrindavan. He said, I am missing Vrindavan. But what to do? I am going on a higher mission. This is a mission of my spiritual master. Seasickness. Seasickness क्या होता है? When you are in the ship, you feel like vomiting because the ship is up, tossing up, down. And this is a 70-year-old man. How much complications, how many health complications he will have. He was there, he was continuously vomiting. And this is not a, 12 hours journey from here to Delhi. He was there almost for a month. I think, no, not for a month, for a week. I think so, week or 2 weeks. And he had 2 heart attacks, verified heart attacks on the ship, because there was a doctor and all those guys were there. They verified, they felt he's going to leave. Old man. They were asking, Baba, why, how someone can give them a ticket? So many health issues he has. 2 heart attack in 2 days, back to back. He prayed to Lord. He said, I got already 2 heart attacks. If I get third, I'm gone. No ISKCON, no Bhagavad Gita going to the West, nothing. Everything finished. He prayed to the Lord. He said, Lord, I'm going there for your mission. You decide what you want to do. If you want me to assist, you want me to be instrument in your mission, please help me. If you feel I'm not worthy of doing that, you can decide whatever can happen with me. I'm okay with that. He writes this in his diary, okay? Everything is written in his diary. That night, again he writes this in his diary, that night he gets a dream. He gets a dream that Krishna is personally come in his dream and is saying, don't worry, I'll take care of things. He also gets a dream that the ship which Jalduta, which is having, there is Narsingh Dev right on top. And all the incarnations of the Lord are rowing that ship. That's a dream he gets. Next day morning he gets up. Okay. The captain of the ship, his name was Captain Pandya. Documented, sab kuch hai. Captain Pandya writes, he says, he gives an interview later, much years after ISKCON become big. Captain Pandya said, I never saw Pacific, Prashant Mahasagar, Pacific Ocean so calm. That voyage, I remember the sadhu was there, but the voyage of Pacific Ocean was the calmest. It was very, very calm. Ship didn't toss. It didn't go up and down. Because it goes up and down, he'll get third heart attack. So Krishna helped every step on this mission. A lot of things happened. He celebrated Janmashtami over there. He spoke to, he gave a small class to the sailors. But ye sailors hai, you know how they are. You know, unka dimag thoda chalta nahi hai. Right? 1965, 17 September, Srila Prabhupada reaches USA, Boston Harbor. And he lands at Boston Harbor. He writes a poem. He goes there, he lands at Boston Harbor. It remains, the ship I think remains there for one day. He takes a tour with Captain Pandya because Captain Pandya was, respecting him because he's a sannyasi. He takes a tour of Boston city and comes back. And then they goes to New York. So there he writes this poem, Boro Kripa Koilo Krishna Adhamera Prati. He says, Krishna, please have some blessing on me. I will read this. He says, my dear Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul. He's talking about himself. But I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Because when he went, he goes and takes a round of Boston city. He sees so many terrible things over there. Everything just leaving for 4 things. What are the 4 things? Eating, mating, sleeping, defending. That's it. That is life for them. Even today, what is life? Even you go to the West, like I went to America first time. So I said, I'll not eat this. So the receptionist used to come. What you are not going to eat, sir? And after training, they used to give us lunch, right? So I said, I'll not eat this, I'll not eat this, I'll not eat this. And then I said, I don't eat onion garlic also. So yeah, she was puzzled for some time. Then I said, okay, fine, whatever it is. So then I went for lunch. You know what they gave me? A boiled potato. And some salt. She said, sir, this is the only thing I found. I said, good, at least you found this. Of course, I had my things I had carried from home. And then later in the evening, my colleagues asked, you don't do this, you don't eat, you don't smoke. Then they took us out and then we went to a mall and then they took us to some pub and all that, lot of places. And then they asked me, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do this. And then how you enjoy in life? For them, enjoyment in life is this. Right? You know what is enjoyment in life? There's a very famous thing in America. Husband and wife is telling, would you tell your children not to fight with our children? Tell your children not to fight with our children. So there is husband, there's man who has children from other lady, he leaves this lady. There's a woman who have children from some other man, she leaves him. They all both get married, so they have their own children and then they later have their again combined children. This is life for them. Even the current president is married for 3 times. So Jashi Raja Tashi, right? So this is life for them, and this is going from 60s. So Prabhupada saw that. He said, my God, Krishna, you got me to a terrible place. But I think you have some business. Okay, he writes this poem in Bengali, Boro Kripa Koile Krishna. I will send you that poem. There's a nice song, they made it. And then he writes this. Okay, I'll read it quickly. He says, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. And he was a very, very scholarly person. I have not told you so many things because there's no time. He was very scholarly. He was able to translate from Sanskrit to English, and his purports were so good. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had told Gaudiya Mutt, his mission, whatever Abhay Charan gives, print it. Don't even think. Don't even read it. He is perfect. And he is saying over here, I am unqualified and I am most fallen. Therefore, I seek your benediction so that I can convince them. For I am powerless to do this on my own. Somehow or other, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or a failure as you like. Karmanyavadhikarasto. O spiritual master of the world, he is referring to Krishna, I simply repeat your message. So, if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Because Prabhupada, when I share you those Prabhupada's videos, you see his accent. It's like when he speaks English also, it's a typical English, Indian English. And you see American English, European English, they are different. When I hear my bosses and guys speaking over there, 2 बार सुनना पड़ता है, बोला क्या उसने? Right? It's like an English movie. You see twice to understand what they're saying. Right? And he is going to go there and he is going to quote कर्मण्यवाधिकारस्तु. उनको समझेगा भी क्या चल रहा है, ऊपर से जाएगा सब. आधा टाइम हमारे ऊपर से जाता है. And he is doing this in 1960s. And now that's why he's praying to Krishna, if you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding, everything based on prayers and Guru Shishya Parampara. Only by your causeless mercy will my word become pure. I am sure that this transcendental message penetrates in their heart and they will certainly feel enlightened and become liberated from unhappy condition of life. Oh my Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So, if you brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Puppets are just having some strings and someone is making them dance. So he's saying, Lord, I am puppet in your hand. If you have brought me here to America, you make me dance. Like हम लोग यूरोप जाते हैं, अमेरिका जाते हैं, कितना सब प्लानिंग होता है, कौन पिक करेगा, क्या होगा, कहीं किसी ने पकड़ के उठा के लेके गया, समझेगा भी नहीं किधर गायब हो गया. Right? Now so many people are getting shot in America. Indians, because they don't like Indians, मारते हैं ठप करके. कौन किसको पता है, कौन ढूंढेगा किसने मारा. So many students are getting killed, right? And this is about 1960. Old man, 70-year-old, you don't even know anyone over there. He just know one Gopal Agarwal. He's going. That is faith. Okay. So if you brought me here, make me dance. I have no devotion. Now Prabhupada is saying this. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. But what I have strong faith in the holy names of Krishna. I have strong faith. So when we chant, we should have faith. Faith is very important. I have designated Bhakti Vedanta. His name was Bhakti Vedanta, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And now, if you like, he's telling this to Krishna, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. This is a poem written by him in his diary. And this was not to be published. He didn't know, ISKCON banega, itna kuch hoga, this diary will be published, there will be songs made on it, but he writes. So if you write something like this is your real personal thing. You actually pour your heart because you don't want anyone to read about it. It is your personal thing. So this is what he wrote, right? Every word, every sentence can teach us so many things. Later, probably in other classes, we'll go in more detail about it. So now finally he reaches America and the real struggle starts from here. इंडिया में तो कुछ था ही नहीं स्ट्रगल तो यहाँ चालू हुआ. Okay, 1965 Srila Prabhupada reaches shores of USA. Steamship Jalduta arrives with पैसे कितने थे? $8 लेके गए थे बस. तभी $1 was around 7 rupees, I think 7 rupees, like Sudh Mother Bro, 7 रुपया कुछ तो था ना तभी. $7, $8 लेके गए थे. That's it. $8 लेके वो अमेरिका गए. Okay, that's why they say he's okay. During the voyage, and this is suffered 200x. This is his photo over there. So he goes to the house of Gopal Agarwal, Sally Agarwal. They welcomes him. This is in Massachusetts, I think so. Boston, yeah. So he stays in the house of Sally Agarwal. So now he has come here to preach. He has not come here for holiday or seeing how's America. He's come here to preach. So then he tells Sally Agarwal, would you call your friends, just like how we call all of you all? Can you call your friends? You know someone, please come. We'll tell you something on Bhagavad Gita. So he calls. Some ladies come and he gives them discourse on Bhagavad Gita. not very interested, ladies, they are like American ladies, that too, very, very difficult to handle, right? So, so not very much interested. So Prabhupada realizes, I'm in Boston. See, Prabhupada, he was very great visionary. दूर का सोचते थे, बहुत दूर का. He says, I'm in Boston. Now, Boston is a small town, I suppose, town or city. Let me go to world's biggest city. Which is world's biggest city? New York, right? सबसे बड़ा कंट्री अमेरिका. अमेरिका में सबसे बड़ा न्यूयॉर्क. जैसे इंडिया में सबसे बड़ा मुंबई. मुंबई में कुछ हुआ तो पूरा दुनिया हिल जाएगा, वैसे. So let me go to New York. Maya is in New York. Maya is in New York. Kali is in New York. कली को जो हम देखे ना लास्ट क्लास में, वो न्यूयॉर्क में जाके बैठा है. उसको पता है इधर बैठ के कुछ होने वाला नहीं इंडिया में. उधर से बैठा है, उधर वो बनाता है कपड़े, लोग पहनते हैं, वही बाद में वो देख के हम लोग भी वही पहनते हैं, राइट? सो ऐसा नहीं है. आई डोंट नो वेज कली, आई एम जस्ट जोकिंग. सो ही सेज लेट मी गो टू न्यूयॉर्क. इफ आई डू समथिंग इन न्यूयॉर्क इट विल शेक एवरीवन. सो ही गोज टू न्यूयॉर्क. नाउ when he was here in Boston, he had got some contact of a guy over there called Indian guy called Mishra, and he had a yoga studio, Mishra Yoga Studio. So he writes him, I'll come. Mishra says, come. So Prabhupada goes over there and he used to teach yoga. And that time yoga was very famous because people used to feel in West yoga karne se will become, very light, elevated, levitate, he will fly in air, everything used to happen. So he was teaching yoga, but this guy, Mishra, he was an impersonalist. So he used to also teach that, God is have no form, it's all light, you have to ultimately merge in Brahman, Mayavad. So Prabhupada used to listen, अभी क्या करेंगे, उसके घर में बैठा है, क्या कुछ नहीं कर सकता. Used to listen, चल रहा है. जैसे कि 2 + 2 = 4, but someone is teaching, 2 + 2 = 3, and all the students are writing 2 + 2 = 3, and they're going. And what you can do? You can't do anything. You are in his house. Prabhupada is listening. So what Prabhupada is to do is, whoever is to come for his class, Prabhupada is to just meet them later, because he told Gopal, the Mishra, that later even I'll talk to them. And Prabhupada is to give them very simple philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Simple philosophy. And वो लोग हमारी तरह, when we have boys program, only boys is to come. But their program, they used to come with their girlfriends also. वहाँ पे एकदम पूरा, in 1960s का बात है, अभी नहीं, 1960s से ही ऐसे वो लोग. तो ladies, girlfriends used to come. आज वो इसके साथ आती थी, कल वही लड़की किसी और के साथ आती थी, वही लड़का इसके साथ. Prabhupada used to get, क्या चल रहा है, कौन, ठीक है. Prabhupada ignored everything. He said, okay, this is culture. This is their culture. I cannot say what is this in front of sannyasi, कुछ भी चल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं. But he said, okay, fine, that is their culture. He stuck to his principles. I will give them Bhagavad Gita. So he started preaching them Bhagavad Gita. One point of time, going fast forward, I am going quickly. Gopal, this Mishra guy said that, it's better, Prabhupada, I think you should move out because your philosophy is different, my philosophy is different. That time, Prabhupada, by that time, he had made friends with a guy called David, who used to come for his program. So then he started staying with David. See, every point, Krishna used to make things ready for him. Okay, I'm just saying this, but just imagine, he is gone to America, he don't know कल कहाँ रहने वाला है. David के साथ रहते हैं. He stays with David, then he calls boys to come to David's house. David is to stay in, what was that place Prabhuji called? Slum area वहाँ पे, what was the name of that place? No, it was a slum area basically. There was a name for that. Bowery in New York. तो हर बड़े सिटी का एक गंदगी रहता है. मुंबई का गंदगी कहाँ है? तो धारावी आपने देखा कैसे है. तो न्यूयॉर्क का धारावी का बाउरी बोलते थे, इन बाउरी. एंड बाउरी में ये डेविड रहता था. वहाँ पे ड्रग्स लेना, कुछ काम नहीं करना, पूरा दिन टाइम पास. अभी प्रोपत क्या करे, सच अ बिग सन्यासी, बट कहीं पे जगह नहीं, वहाँ जाके रुके. तो डेविड के घर में रुके थे. डेविड के घर में ही यूज्ड टू कॉल पीपल एंड ही यूज्ड टू गिव डिस्कोर्सेस. इट वाज हैपनिंग. वन नाइट David became high on LSD. LSD is a type of drugs. And he came to beat Prabhupada. He said, you stole my soap. मेरा साबुन चुराया आपने. ये प्रभुपाद बोल रहा है, इसको क्या हो गया, अभी तो इतने दिनों से ठीक था, ये अभी. And he actually went to beat Prabhupada. Prabhupada somehow took his one bag and got out in the night. And David closed the door. Now Prabhupada is outside in the cold. In America, he doesn't know anyone. नहीं पहचानते किसी को, फ़ोन नहीं, कुछ नहीं, किसको बात करेंगे, सन्यासी है, वृंदावन से आए. Perfection of life is to be in Vrindavan at the end of life. He left that. He came here. Why? Because he wanted to give Bhagavad Gita to the world. He is outside, in cold. One person saw him who used to come for his classes. See how Krishna arranges at every steps. He said, Swamiji, what are you doing over here? You were staying with David, right? He said, yeah, this is what happened. He said, oh, David is a crazy guy. You come with us. So this guy, he took Prabhupada to his house. अभी ये भी डेविड की तरह ही है, ये भी इनका भी कुछ खाने का ठिकाना नहीं, रहने का ठिकाना नहीं, कल पैसे, वो ये भी ऑल कंगाली है सब. वो भी सोचने लगे अभी प्रभुपाद हमारे घर में रुके, ठीक है, उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड भी थी, प्रभुपाद इज ऑल्सो स्टेइंग ओवर देयर, तो अभी 1 दिन हो गया, 2 दिन हो गया, क्या करें. सो देन this man, he called other people who used to go for Prabhupada's classes. He said, he's a gentleman from India who's come, who used to go to his classes. You remember? Let us do something for him. So they all came. किसी ने 2 रुपया निकाले, किसी ने 3 रुपया, ऐसा सब किसका सब चंदा लेके जमा करके उन्होंने प्रभुपाद के लिए एक रूम निकाला, रूम ढूंढ के निकाला रेंट पे, ताकि he can stay over there at least, because they knew he is sannyasi. They knew who they were. See, it's very important to be sincere. All these people, even though they were sinful, they were sincere. They knew हम किस गंदगी में हैं और उनको पता था ये कौन है, he is a sannyasi, right? So he said, we will give something for a good place for him to stay. So they gave a good place for him to stay, and that they found a place, and the name of that place was Matchless Gift Shop. That was already there, Matchless Gift Shop. So they rented this place and they paid rent for 1 month, and Prabhupada started staying over there. So slowly Prabhupada started calling people over there and started giving Bhagavad Gita classes. Everything starts from hearing. कान बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, सब हियरिंग से चालू हुआ. Prabhupada, no one knew Prabhupada. He used to only give classes, right? So he used to call everyone. Slowly people started coming. They started helping him. So he used to give classes, cook for them, serve them, go and clean the dishes himself. कोई नहीं मदद करता था. ये आते थे लोग, सुन के वही वैसे ही लोग, ये लड़की उसके साथ, वो लड़का उसके साथ, कॉल आता, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था. But Prabhupada used to give them pure knowledge. No compromise on knowledge. Slowly they started saying, Prabhupada, Swamiji, they used to call him Swamiji. Swamiji, should we help you? He said, well, you can help. And they started helping. Someone started putting some flowers. Someone started putting some place, something. Someone started helping in cleaning the place. So when they started doing seva, there was transformation in heart. Seva is very powerful. A lot of time we know what we have to do, but our mind is such a dangerous thing, it makes us do bad things. But when we do seva, it helps us to overcome our mind. So seva is very important in devotional life. Seva helps us to increase our sadhana. It helps us to overcome our mind. So we should do some seva or other. So they started doing seva. And he was in New York. So sometimes he used to walk alone. People used to come for classes. Sometimes they used to not come. Sometimes they used to arrange for a class and the room was empty. Once he arranged for a class and he went to someone's house and no one came. No one. Prabhupada is alone. They just they had given him a mic recorder and no one is there in the class. No one is there in the hall. Like, one day we said there is class and none of you all come. What we will say? We'll feel bad, yaar. And I'll put message on the group. You all are not coming. You all are not serious. Something I will put, right? Prabhupada was not worried. Prabhupada said, no one is in the class. No one is there. It's okay. I will give. So he spoke for 2 hours on Bhagavad Gita. 2 hours. And everything got recorded in that dictaphone. And the class what he gave, as it is, that class is the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. If you see introduction of Bhagavad Gita, if you read Bhagavad Gita, there are so many pages only of introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Later, when they printed Bhagavad Gita, they converted that class they typed it and that became the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So that introduction of Bhagavad Gita is a class given by him to an empty hall. Thinking that maybe Narad Muni is sitting over there. Maybe Chandra, Indra, Varuna have come to hear about Krishna. That was his faith. Because he said, I am not qualified, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. So that is important. We should have faith in Krishna. Faith is very important. After the next class, we will take class only on faith. How faith is important in devotional life, right? So his days struggling alone. There's a place called, one garden was there, Tompkinson Square Park. So in the evening he used to go to garden and take kartal. एक करताल लेके गए थे वो साथ में, और कुछ नहीं. करताल, some books and some of his luggage, one trunk, that's it. करताल बजा के he used to sing Hare Krishna over there in Tompkinson Square Park. People used to come. कौन people आते थे? ये हिप्पी. हिप्पी बोले तो पता है ना, गोवा पीपल नो व्हाट इज हिप्पी. उनको खाने का ये नहीं, रहने का नहीं, कपड़े पहनने का नहीं. उधर वो नाच के नाचते थे. कौन ऐसा निर्वाणा मिला, ऐसे कुंभ मेले में सब आते हैं ना उधर, ऐसा कौन ये बन गया वो बन गया. उनको सब लगता है इंडिया में आए तो सब ये बन जाते थे. तो उनको वैसे लोग आते थे वहाँ पे. ऐसे नहीं कि वेरी जेंटलमैन, यस टेलर्स, ऐसे नहीं, एकदम पागल लोग आते थे. बट प्रभुपाद नेवर सॉ देम व्हाट दे आर. प्रभुपाद थॉट कृष्णा इज सेंडिंग देम. I have to respect them. And he was singing over there, playing kartal. मृदंग नहीं आया था तभी, ये बाद में का फोटो है. करताल बजा के he used to sing. And sometimes when he come back, some people used to come back with him. And they used to stay in the temple, hear his class, go. So slowly, hearing से, सेवा करके, प्रसाद खा के. Initial date was prasad he used to give. Not full plate prasad like how we give. He used to take an apple, cut that apple into 10 parts and give one apple piece to them. Offer to the Lord and then give. That is what the prasad was in ISKCON, right? So that is how it started. And because of that seva bhav, sincerity and association with great saintly men like him, some people's hearts started changing. They said, Swamiji, what should I do more? Tell me more. Oh yeah, you can do this, you can do this. So they started asking, what should I do more? And slowly, this is how ISKCON was formed. So in 1966, okay, now he is still in that storefront. What is the name of the storefront? Matchless Gift. The name of this temple also we have kept Matchless Gift only. Okay. So 1966, Prabhupada said, okay, now you all come. How many followers he had? 4, 5. Followers बोलो तो ऐसे ही वो लोग आके बैठते थे ना गांजा मार के, वो ऐसे ही follower थे सब. अभी और क्या करेंगे, ये लोग मिल रहे. तो he said, come, you come, we'll make an society. Right. And in 1966, he made one society and he kept this name. Name was International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. They said, Swamiji, this international is not a too big name. हमको पता नहीं 2 महीने का रेंट दे पाएंगे कि नहीं. मैचलेस गिफ्ट शॉप का किधर रास्ते पे जाने वाला है पता नहीं 2 महीने में. सब लोग उनको भी नहीं पता था. He says, nothing doing, we'll keep it this. You don't know. There are 108 temples everywhere. Only time separates. Right? He was able to see, Krishna consciousness spreading everywhere, because that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had said. Prithvi ache nagar adi gram, sarvatra prachar hoilo mora naam. Krishna's name will be spreading in every town and village. This is very, very revolutionary, by the way. Very, very revolutionary. What Srila Prabhupada did, no one did. No Indian did. You tell me one Indian who did this. One. There are a lot of people who are telling something great about one Indian who went to America and gave big bhashan in their कहाँ पे दिया था उसने? In their secretariat or whatever, parliament, and then everyone is quoting him. But उसके बाद क्या हुआ? कितने followers बनाए उसने अमेरिका से? 0. Srila Prabhupada, and so many American disciples, so many Russian disciples, so many European disciples. Why? Because the knowledge transforms. Knowledge should be so easy that it transforms the heart. Right? Otherwise, लोग तो बड़े-बड़े चीजें बोल के चले जाएंगे. You don't know anything about it. What's the point? So he transformed people's heart. And this same people who were drug addicts, who were hippies, became sannyasis of big order. Sannyasis. Can you imagine? For us grahasthas to chant Hare Krishna, it is so difficult. Non-veg छोड़ो बोले तो कड़कड़ाता है. Right? They became sannyasis who used to break regulative principles in the womb of their mother. What is regulative principle? No meat eating, no intoxication. When the child was in the womb, for them the culture of eating, sleeping, mating was so prevalent. They didn't know किसका बच्चा किधर क्या सब गड़बड़. So they used to break regulative principles in the womb of their mother. In the womb, बच्चा बाहर आया ही नहीं. Of that background, they became sannyasis. They became pure devotees, and they are spreading this Krishna consciousness across the world. Yesterday we were in today morning. Today is Saturday. Today morning we had a 3-day seminar, and today morning one of the sannyasis, 2 sannyasis had come. One of the sannyasis who had come was from Kazakhstan. Sannyasi. Today morning, I'll share the photograph. He's Russian, Muslim, scientist, became sannyasi. Today morning only we met him, took his blessings. right? So we were in Wailing temple is there, so 3 days seminar was there over there. So Prabhupada made them sannyasis, pure. ये कोई ऐसा ये नहीं है. That's what we are saying. ISKCON is again not some organization, someone just got up one day, okay, I will start ISKCON, I'll teach you something, I'll give you some babut, some jadoo, magic. No magic. We have to follow Bhagavad Gita. That's it. Bhagavad Gita is the magic. Right? So 1966 he started. And what he did? Whoever was there, वही लोग थे ना. You become trustee, you become this guy, you become treasurer. जो उसका owner था, घर का owner था, उसको treasurer बनाया लगता ना. वही treasurer बन गया, घर का owner था वो बोला, hey, what is this man? When I get my rent? No, Americans पता है ना, वो पागल रहते हैं दिमाग से. You are the trustee of the organization. Oh yeah, trustee. Because that sale deed is still there. What they signed in New York. राइट 2-4 लोग आके बोले 2 महीने का रेंट के आगे पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. दे आर मेकिंग इंटरनेशनल सोसाइटी. दैट इज श्रीला प्रभुपाद. दैट्स हिज विजन. And this is how ISKCON was formed. Again, fast forward, a lot of things happens. Early day, it was very difficult. Every night he used to sleep only for 2 hours a day, Srila Prabhupada. And what he used to do in the remaining time? Write books. Give lectures, preach, go everywhere. In the night, get up at 1 o'clock, write books. And all these books. And actually, one of the American scholars said, how someone can write so many books in his one lifetime. And Prabhupada, he started 1966 ISKCON, until the time he left, he lived only for 13 years. It's not that 70 years he was writing books. 13 years. 13 years he wrote so many books. So many books. Our one lifetime is not enough to read all those books. Right? He used to get up at 1 o'clock in the night and write books. In the morning hours, he used to give lecture. A lot of things, people started coming, joining. Yeah, this is one of the photographs where then slowly, intellectual class people started coming. Right? This gentleman, this devotee you see in tie over here, his name is Jayanand Prabhu. Of course, his name, what was his name, Prabhu, that time? John. So he was a mechanical engineer. You know, in 1960, what is a mechanical engineer in America? You could have earned, big shot. But he was so tired with their materialistic life, he was looking for something. So he comes over here. And then he joined Srila Prabhupada. And then he used to drive taxi in the morning and in the night, and morning used to serve in the temple, and whatever money he used to get, he used to give to Prabhupada to run temples. That is how sincere they were. That's why they became sannyasis. And he was mechanical engineer, so he used all his engineering skill in making Rath. The Rath Yatra, which is very famous in ISKCON, which happens in America, all the cities of America. The first Rath Yatra happened in San Francisco. And Jayanand Prabhu, later he got initiated and he got named Jayanand Prabhu, that the Rath was designed by him. All the Raths were designed by him. And he left his body pretty early in life, and then when he left, Prabhupada said on every Rath Yatra of ISKCON which will happen, his photo should be there. So even in Rath Yatra we had in Margao, we had put his photo. You all must have not noticed. Next time you try to find, right? So these are the type of people who came to Srila Prabhupada. And by the association of Srila Prabhupada, they all became sannyasis. There are so many stories. You see over here in this photograph, there are deities of Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. Now you will say, how this came? This came from India? वो तो एक trunk लेके गए थे. Prabhupada went with a trunk. कुछ नहीं था उसमें. 4 कपड़े थे, कुछ सामान था खाने का और एक कुकर था बस. और एक छाता था. वो पुराने लोग छाता लेके जाते थे ना, वो छाता लेके गए थे वो. ये कहाँ से आए बलदेव, जगन्नाथ, सुभद्रा, ये सब वहीं पे बनाया है सब. इसके और डिफरेंट स्टोरीज है. एवरी टाइम इन लेक्चर्स विल टेल. आज का दिन खत्म हुआ भाई, टाइम इज रनिंग आउट. इट्स वेरी एक्साइटिंग, राइट? And then later he made disciples across. He sent his disciples everywhere. His funda was very simple. He used to go to one place, call people, give them lecture, open a temple, leave that place, go to some other place. Simple. And then temple used to run. Right? He went everywhere in America, Europe, Canada, Germany, and so many temples and so many branches were open. 1966 ISKCON started. 1966. Within 1-2 years, he had so many centers in America and Europe. 1967, he came to Amchi, Goa. Right? And he didn't come alone. Whom he got with him? ये फिरंगी, गोरे. गोरों को सुनते हैं ना हम. गोरों को सलाम मारते हैं. गोरी चमड़ी चाहिए. ये गोरे ऐसे नहीं आए. धोती कुर्ता में सन्यासी बन के आए. राइट. मुंबई गए वो, ही विजिटेड वृंदावन, ऑल द प्लेसेस. और मुंबई में क्रॉस मैदान, अभी भी है क्रॉस मैदान, वहाँ पे बड़ा पंडाल प्रोग्राम डाला प्रभुपाद ने. और ऑन द स्टेज प्रभुपाद बैठे थे, कृष्णा राधा कृष्णा के डीटीज थे, प्रभुपाद साइड में बैठ के लेक्चर देते थे, और ये सब गोरे धोती कुर्ता में कीर्तन कर रहे हैं. और उनको देखने के लिए पूरा मुंबई उमड़ पड़ा, कौन बड़े गोरे हमारा कपड़ा पहन के नाच रहे हैं, हरे कृष्णा बोल रहे हैं, हम तो इधर रह गए, ये पहुंच गए. राइट. तो बाद में बुक लिखा किसी ने, डांसिंग वाइट एलिफेंट्स. सो प्रभुपाद यूज्ड टू से दे आर माय वाइट एलिफेंट्स. तो प्रभुपाद, when he was, now remember his Vrindavan days, remember his Delhi days when he was fainting and falling down and no one was even bothered to take Bhagavad Gita. Remember the words of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, go and preach in English speaking language. Message given to him, instruction given to him in 1922, fulfilled in 1966. 40 साल लगे, but किया. 40 साल लगे, but he used to always think, how can I do it? And that is where Krishna get pleased. Krishna get pleased by our determination. There is no चमत्कार over here. आज भरती कल चक्रवर्ती, ऐसा नहीं होता है. हमको सब इंस्टेंट चाहिए. मैं गुरु के पास जाऊंगा, गुरु मुझे हाथ लगाएगा, मुझे कुछ शौक लगेगा. वो कुंभ में कोई तो एक्ट्रेस आई, वो कुछ तो सेंट बन गई. कैसा सेंट रे बाबा, कैसा सेंट? 2 महीना रुको, तुमको दिखेगी वो कहीं तो. 2 महीना रुको. It's not easy. It's not easy to follow regulatory principles. You require damn determination. Right? When we hear the stories of such saints, we get that motivation. I will try my best. We cannot match them, but I'll do my little and Krishna will get pleased. Ultimately, it's all to please Krishna. It's like that small sparrow trying to dry the big ocean. He cannot dry the ocean, but he will only get attention of Garuda. So we have to get attention of Garuda, that is Krishna, by our efforts. Right? So he had cross Maidan pe in Mumbai, lot of programs where so many people came, right? And then soon ISKCON was very, very famous. I'll cut short it over here. Now some of his unparalleled, he sent his followers, so he used to he was in US and he used to tell some disciples, okay, you 6 of you all go to London and start a center. So they used to go to London and then they used to preach and then he used to come later and give 2 lectures, ho gaya center. Right? That time he met this Beatles. You know him? Old people will know. This guy is George Harrison. Right? There's a very famous band called Beatles. George Harrison, John Lennon, they're very famous. अभी का कौन है? अभी का कोई तो है. तो I'm just trying to tell you how they were so famous. People were ready to do anything for their concert, and he became a devotee, George Harrison. And through him, even Prabhupada recorded some Hare Krishna records, which were then published by Apple Records that time, and it became very famous. So he knew how to go in the right direction through all these people. He used to say, all the opulence what we see in this world, it is spark of Krishna. And how you use this opulence in his seva, that is perfection of life. He didn't say, oh, this is not good, we should give up, give everything, become sannyasi. No. His teachings of Gita is use everything in seva of Lord. That is called Yukta Vairagya. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna to become a sannyasi. If you can become sannyasi, it is perfect, great. But everyone cannot become a sannyasi and brahmachari. Right? So using everything, our ability, our resources in seva of Lord, that is sannyas. That is called Yukta Vairagya. And that is what he taught. Right? Then Srila Prabhupada comes back to London, so many more programs he takes. He initiated so many disciples. Initiation is what? You take, when a guru gives initiation to a disciple, he connects him to Sampradaya officially and he says that I am taking all your sins. A guru takes all the sins, whatever he has done in his life, and he says, I will ensure you will go back home, back to Godhead. And he did so many disciples, he took so many disciples in America, Europe, everywhere. And he used to give initiation to everyone. But he never compromised his principles. It's not, chalo, kitne log aa gaye, chalo, sabko initiation. No! Principles were never compromised. What are the principles? No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, chanting Hare Krishna. You follow this for some time, you follow it properly in the center, then your name is putting in the initiated list and then you get initiated. One time someone told him, Swamiji, so many things I have not told you, I have come straight away over here because there's no time. Swamiji, all your things perfect, your Krishna Katha, everything perfect, but ये regulative principles ना थोड़े tough है. आप 1 या 2 regulative principles कम करो, फिर देखो पूरा दुनिया आपका शिष्य बन जाएगा. He said, nothing doing. I will not compromise on my principles. I will give you leniency. I will accept you how you are, but I will not compromise on my principles. You have to follow that. So initially when Srila Prabhupada told them to chant Hare Krishna, he told how many rounds you know? Now how many rounds we say you have to chant? 16. हाँ चलो उतना तो पता है, आप लोग नहीं करते हो सब लोग, but that's okay. 2 करते हो, 4 करते हो, एक दिन पहुंच जाओगे, sure पहुंच जाओगे, याद रखना. He said you have to chant 64 rounds. How many? 64. ये क्या 64 कैसे करना है? आप करोगे, don't worry, when you come to Vrindavan you will chant, every day you will chant 64. होगा, easily होगा, okay. So they said, Prabhupada, 64 is too much, we can't chant 64. Then he said, okay, you can't chant 64, chant 32. I said, Prabhupada, 32 is too much, please. He said, okay, 16, nothing below that. Okay, stamp, done. So then it's a 16 rounds. But if you say it's not, so sometimes they ask us, why 16? Why 16 only you have to chant? Because this guy wants to chant only 1 round. You want to chant 1 round and go back to Godhead. That's why they ask, why 16? Actually it is 64. Actually it is 64, but it is mercy of Acharyas. They reduce and give us. They know we cannot do it. Desha Kala Patra. Based on that. So 16 round minimum. And 4 regulative principles. No compromise on 4 regulative principles. Right? That's why we say ISKCON na, you cannot cheat. You cannot have a garb of doing something and you're something inside, you're something outside. You cannot do that. You cannot do, because following the 4 regulative principle, it purifies you. सब शुद्ध हो जाता है, क्योंकि बचा ही नहीं ना. I still remember my America days. They say तुम ये नहीं खाते हो, ये नहीं करते हो, ये नहीं करते हो, फिर बचा क्या जिंदगी में? How do you enjoy? They asked me. I said there's so many other ways to enjoy. Right? So this 4 regulative principles actually purifies us. It gets us to the level of Brahmana. And he never compromised on those principles. And today you see all these Westerners, even Indians, we have so many, all these initiated disciples of Prabhupada. Prabhupada left in 1977. 1977, Prabhu? 1977. And even today when all these disciples, his direct disciples, they remember Prabhupada, they remember him with so much of joy and so much of gratitude. And if you see ISKCON now, it is taken to every part of the world by these disciples whom he had initiated. All of them who become sannyasis. If you see their life, you look at them, you must have seen so many videos and all, you look at them, they are so simple, so much Krishna conscious. And they are not coming from any background whatsoever of dharmic background. They are coming from very, very different background. But yet, because they associate with holy name, associate with sadhu, like Srila Prabhupada, and followed his instruction, Guru Vakya, that is why they were able to do so much of bhakti. He spoke so many classes, everything what he spoke. See, one good thing of America was technology was there. Technology. So everything he spoke, dictaphone. They used to put a dictaphone and everything used to get recorded. So more than 2,000 classes are there which have been recorded. So it's not that he was there in some bygone ages. You can hear everything what he spoke. There are so many videos about him. So he's not some personality who had come so many years back. We don't know what are his teachings. Everything is there. There are so many organizations whose people came very old. They don't know. Nothing has been written down. Everything is documented. Right? And his outlook, he very scientific outlook. So he also used to associate with scientific community. Letters, tabhi email nahi the. So how he used to communicate? He used to be in India or he used to be in America, and he has temples everywhere. So he used to communicate by writing letters. So abhi bhi Prabhupada ke letters are still there. So he used to write what he used to do. Sometimes he used to write letters to tell them how to wear dhoti. नहीं आता धोती पहनना, वो लेटर भी लिखते थे, धोती ऐसा डालता है, ऐसा करता है, कैसे घुमाना है, कितनी बार अगरबत्ती दिखाना है, वो सब लेटर में लिख के भेजते थे. 10 दिन के बाद लेटर पहुंचता था, फिर वो लोग रिप्लाई लिखते थे, फिर लेटर आता था. ऐसे आप सोचो, हमको ऐसा करके एक जगह पे बैठ के वर्ल्ड वाइड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाना है लेटर लिख के, होगा क्या? अभी ईमेल, व्हाट्सएप, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग से भी कंपनियां नहीं चलती है. He ran an worldwide organizations by writing letters. Right? His disciples never saw him very often because कहाँ जाएंगे एक आदमी सब जगह पे कहाँ घूमेगा? Still he went 13 times across the globe. Everywhere he circled, everywhere. He used to be in 1 week in this country, 1 week in that country, 1 week here. So many stories are there. Russia preaching कैसे चालू हुआ? तभी रशिया में KGB था, right? If you old people you remember, KGB वहाँ पे किसी डिवोटी को देखा तो गोली मार देते थे. वहाँ पे कोई अलाउड ही नहीं था. फिर भी रशिया में कम्युनिस्ट कंट्री में भगवद गीता कैसे घुसा? वो 2 घंटे का टॉपिक है. एकदम एक्साइटिंग पिक्चर का स्टोरी है ये. इट्स अ मूवी. हाउ रशियंस वे इंट्रोड्यूस टू भगवद गीता. अंडरग्राउंड, सब अंडरग्राउंड किया उन्होंने. पोखरण में ब्लास्ट किया था ना अंडरग्राउंड, वैसे अंडरग्राउंड प्रिंटिंग प्रेसेस थे. मिला तो मर ही जाएगा आदमी, मार ही देंगे उसको. मारा भी लोगों को. बट आज इंडिया के बाहर इफ यू सी इस्कॉन डिवोटीज आउटसाइड इंडिया, इफ एनी अदर कंट्री विच इज हैविंग मैक्सिमम इस्कॉन डिवोटी, दैट इज रशिया. Right? More the struggle, more the outcome. Right? It's a different story. When you hear all this, you feel, my God, हम लोग तो कुछ है ही नहीं. We are crying with our own problems. What these people went through and who they are become now, different. And that is our inspiration. Right? Rath Yatras. He took Jagannath. How many of you have gone to Jagannath Puri? Yeah, at least you all have heard about Jagannath Rath Yatra, right? So he took Jagannath Rath Yatras to America. किसने सोचा रहेगा अमेरिका में रथ यात्रा के बारे में, राइट? सो एक इंसिडेंट है. रथ यात्रा वॉज गोइंग ऑन इन न्यूयॉर्क एंड वन बॉय वॉज देयर, स्मॉल बॉय. बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं ना हमारा कार्निवल देखने, वैसे वो दे ऑल्सो कम. वन हैंड ही इज ईटिंग हैमबर्गर. यू नो इज हैमबर्गर? सैंडविच, ये हो क्या बोलते हैं उसको? हैमबर्गर सैंडविच, बट उसमें बीफ रहता है. ओके, सो ही ईटिंग हैमबर्गर. किलिंग काउ इज द बिगेस्ट सीन. So Prabhupada is saying he is eating hamburger in one hand, in other hand he is taking a flower and throwing on Jagannath. That is the mercy Jagannath. Just imagine what mercy Jagannath will give him. These people who are addicted to kill cows, they are getting to see Jagannath. They are getting the opportunity to put a flower on Jagannath. Their Agyat Sukruti will start. And who would have done it? वो पीपल उड़े चढ़ो जगन्नाथ को उधर लेके जाएंगे, वो सब म्लेंचा लोग हैं, यमुना उसको. Prabhupada gave this mercy to everyone, right? Krishna's devotee is like that. He gives this mercy to everyone. Patra apatra ना देके स्थान अस्तान. Who is suitable, not suitable, everyone. Give Mahamantra, everyone can chant. That is how we have seen only some YouTube videos or short, but if you see all this, think about it, unimaginable. कोई सोच ही नहीं सकता है. There is no Indian who has done this scale of taking dharma to America of India. No one. They must have given good lectures and all that, but outcome क्या है? Outcome है क्या? फिरंगी लोग नाच रहे हैं क्या अभी भी? नहीं. Right? So he took Jagannath Rath Yatra everywhere. 1971, only once he went to Moscow on a pretext of meeting one scholar. Because that time they had a lot of scholars over there. And he stayed there for, I think, 1 week. That's it. And we'll discuss about it some other class. In that 1 week, what he did, पूरा रशिया में कृष्णा कॉन्शियस स्प्रेड हो गया. We'll discuss it some other time. So many farmhouses, they were killing cows. So he made farm communities. Right? Small children, everyone became Krishna conscious. He comes to India and when he was in Mayapur, Bengal was poor that time also, now also it is poor. So that time he saw some children were fighting for food in a dustbin with dogs. That was the amount of poverty. So that time he said, that time he started this food for life. He said no one around 10 kilometers in the periphery of any ISKCON center should sleep hungry. So that's why this food for life. Even in Kumbh Mela they are distributing so much of food. ISKCON is known for distributing prasadam for this, because it was Prabhupada who said no one should go hungry. Everyone should get food wherever there is ISKCON center. Right? So all the food for life, all problems, anything happens, ISKCON is always there in, helping people. He established, during his time, before he left in 1977, he established 108 temples all across the world, different, in India, America, Australia, everywhere. His books, the amount of books he wrote, it is difficult to complete reading it in one lifetime. So many books he wrote, and all are Shastric books. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many small books. So there are some small books over there. You can buy at least one small book. Start reading that small book. It's so nice, amazing. Yet he was very simple. Thousands of disciples across the world, hundreds of temples, yet simplicity of life. That is what Srila Prabhupada was. Yeah. From hippies, they became happies. All these sannyasis, each one of them. We can have one day class on each one of them. What is their story, how they became devotees. And later in 1977, in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada left his body in November month. And in that time also, if you see that video is still there, Srila Prabhupada has become very thin, his body is emaciated, he is lying on the bed, he cannot get up. And even before he is leaving his body, he is dictating. What? Purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are putting a dictaphone close to his mic. That video is still there. You can check on the YouTube. And he is saying, he is dictating the purports of Bhagavatam. Even till his last breath, he is writing books. Because books will remain. Prabhupada said, even if everything is destroyed and my books remain, nothing is destroyed. Books are powerful. That's why we should have this habit of reading books. Shastras are to be read. They are not just to be kept at home. We have to read whatever, one page, 5 minutes. Every day, make a habit of reading. That's why I put on the group, you read this shloka kya? Then I write, okay, what is there in this shloka? So that you get a little excited, right? Today's shloka was telling how to get liberation. So simple he has made Bhagavad Gita. Right? So you can buy the small books also, they are behind. Very simple, conversations of Srila Prabhupada, but the message will be profound. He traveled the globe more than 13-14 times to preach Krishna consciousness. So what we can learn from him is, he's deep, we are completing it, with deep appreciation and gratitude, our deep appreciation and gratitude for Srila Prabhupada's hardship. Right? That is why in ISKCON, we all are motivated and inspired to do this. Like last week, I went to Vasco, the place where I belong to. I was born over there. So I met my old friends and all that. And then they said, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working here, I'm doing this. And then we are running a center over here. And then they saw the YouTube videos. And then one of my friends asked, oh, so how much they are paying you for doing all this? I said, nothing, they're not paying. So it's voluntarily? No, he didn't say voluntary. It's complimentary. That's what he said. He was taken aback. Means you all are doing all this, they're not paying you? No. I said, no, they're not paying us. So people, why, if they want to do something, they want something back. That is how the world is. No one will do voluntarily. But in ISKCON, we don't pay anyone. It's not that we are not paying anyone, but we are not, ISKCON, everything is seva. All the big temples, you see ISKCON videos, what come of the deities, why the deities are so beautiful? Because the pujaris who are serving them are not paid. It's not they are not paid, they are doing it voluntarily. So when you do something voluntarily, when you do some paid, like pujari of all the temples, outside also everywhere, we are paying them. So paying, then it's a transaction. Of course, they are doing their part. It's good. At least they are doing. At least they are keeping dharma alive. But still, it is been paid. So paying is a transaction. You don't do it from your heart. But ISKCON, it's all voluntarily. No one is paid. Right? It's not that there's no money, that's why I'm not paying. But all this activity of deity worship, cooking, इसलिए we don't get food from outside, catering. Today is Ekadashi, so some Matajis were cooking for all of us. 150 लोगों के लिए cook करना है, पीठ टूट जाता है. It's a fact, right? We are not paying them. कहीं से बाहर से नहीं लाते, right? So everything is voluntarily. And why we are doing all this? Because of this one personality, Srila Prabhupada. This is our inspiration. Because he took so much hardship to build it and to give it to us on a platter. Platter पता है ना, सब कुछ perfectly आता है उसके ऊपर. So ISKCON is like a platter, right? We started this program in September. This is the third or fourth time I'm telling. September, October, November, December, January. 4 months. 4 months में so much shastric knowledge every one of you all have got. Why? Because Prabhupada made it so simple. At least now, if I give you a mic, you can speak for 10 minutes on Bhagavad Gita without any fear, because you know so much. Krishna is in the heart. Which sloka it is? देखो माता जी को पता है. So why? Because someone took pain for us in 1970s. That's why we are sitting over here in 2025 and listening about Bhagavad Gita and practicing it in our life. Fearlessness. Someone took pain. He is the personality. He is the one who made everything available, who set up whatever he did that time. We are just following the same thing. We are not adding, deleting anything. right? So our inspiration, motivation, his determination, unflinching dedication, right? He went to America, he didn't even know who will see me over there, but he had faith in Krishna, right? Yeah, faith in his holy name and words of his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says, I might be a failure, but my guru will never be a failure. My guru said, go and preach to English speaking people of the world, I will preach. And he will make me successful. That is guru. Right? So guru is someone who gives you power to do things, spiritual things, okay? Not material things. मेरा ये problem है, guru solve करेगा. वो हम next class में बात करेंगे. Who is a guru and what he should be doing. And he took full shelter of Krishna in every crisis. So many crises. ISKCON ऐसे ही नहीं बना. There were so many court cases. In Russia, recently, Bhagavad Gita was banned just before COVID, 2018. They were scared in Russia. Krishna consciousness was spreading like anything. They said, ban karo Bhagavad Gita ko. Of course, then later Indian government put a lot of pressure and that ban was removed. So it's really, really very, very authentic. Right? So all this, what we discuss, there are 6 books called Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Everything about Srila Prabhupada, right from his appearance se leke, all the activities he did, how he set up every center, what is the story of every center, what all struggles, how he solved everything. Everything is there in this book called Prabhupada Lilamrit. I recommend everyone to have it, read it. It's exciting. You read this, you will not feel like putting it back. No philosophy in this, only stories. How he did this, very exciting. Abhi kya hoga, abhi kya hoga, abhi kya hoga. Everything in this. What I spoke to you is everything from these books. Everything is documented. Nothing is manghadant. Right? I spoke to you all in 1 hour, but this is like so many things in detail. So many stories I have not told. It's filled with excitement. That is Srila Prabhupada, right? So when we hear about personalities like this, what pain he has taken to set up, and what and how we are getting these things so easily, it increases our appreciation, right? So that's what we thought on this very auspicious day of Ekadashi. Ekadashis are very important. In future also Ekadashis will come. If you cannot follow, on Ekadashi we don't eat grains, right? So if you cannot follow that, at least be vegetarian on Ekadashis. At least chant some more rounds on Ekadashis. At least you do some devotional service on Ekadashis, right? All Ekadashis will not come on Saturdays. So Ekadashis will come when you are at home. So try to do something. Later we will tell you what exactly you have to do on Ekadashis. Ekadashis, it is written in Shastras that in Ekadashi, the sin, Papa, is on grains. So if you eat grains, we get sin on Ekadashi. So we should not eat grains, no rice, no wheat. We can eat other things, right? So you can eat fruits or varai or sabudana, so many other things are there, right? So later, as you grow in your bhakti, even Tukaram Maharaj used to say that Krishna Bhakta, 2 things he does. One, he wears Kantimala, and one, he follows Ekadashi. So Ekadashis are important. Later, you can slowly follow Ekadashis. Thank you very much. I hope with this, your appreciation for Srila Prabhupada will increase, and you will also appreciate what we are getting. And this knowledge is very, very rare, but he made it so accessible to all of us. That's why we are getting it very easily. Next week, we will take the topic what we left last week. Who should be a guru, and what should be a disciple, and how and why guru is important in life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.